Hey there, folks. Aunt Diane here. I know I'm looking more tired than usual because my dogs kept me up all night, asking to go out every 10 minutes. Sometimes it's just to fool around, sometimes it's to really go. So it's like they just, they kept me up all night. Then once I was awake, they were all soundly sleeping, little stinkers. I have a couple of different scammy related topics to talk about today. Something happened about a week and a half ago that's got me very concerned, and I didn't really have it ready for last week's scam video, but I thought about it, and I'm just gonna put it out there. No names will be mentioned or anything. Somebody was doing a GoFundMe for somebody else to get back into the country because they were stuck in a foreign country because equipment was stolen and they needed to pay for it before they could come back. I don't know if this person ever met the victim. They need an operation badly. They need to come back to the country and get the operation. It just sounded weird. I did check out that person's Facebook page, and there were no pictures of the two of them together. Okay, if this person was in a relationship with the other person, wouldn't there be at least one picture of them together? And it's not like they had it hidden, because you can tell if somebody has something hidden. And I did find I did a few reverse image searches, and I found very similar looking men to the one who this person said was their relationship partner. So it made me very suspicious. I tried reaching out to her, and I didn't go right out and say, "Is the person you're collecting for a scammer?" No. I just kind of said, "Oh, I'm so sorry what's going on. I do want to help you, but when was the last time you saw this person?" They didn't even answer me. And it just made me very suspicious. Okay, it's bad enough if you're given your own money, but to get money from somebody else, from other people, to give to this person, someday we'll find out. Someday I'll find out. I'm kind of following it closely, and I will eventually find out if it does turn out to be a scam, but I cannot say anything just on the slight chance that it's not a scam. And then I'll have to sit in a corner with a dunce cap, the mind your own business dunce cap. I'm so used to sniffing out scams that this one really bothered me. So let's just pray it's not, on the off chance that it's not, and this person really just wants to help their lover or whatever. Okay, that's it for this scam, and I'll update you on that. Another kind of scam I want to talk about is, if it's not like a well-known national or international animal rescue that's collecting money, or if it's not somebody that you've dealt with, please be careful before donating money. And I'll tell you a little story after this. Even if it says ASPCA or whatever, now, SPCA International is legitimate. Just make sure it's on Facebook or on Instagram. On Instagram, it should have a check mark next to it if it's the real thing, because somebody might make a look-alike account, just like they do with famous people, and pretend to be them and get money off you. But also people that have little rescues, little neighborhood rescues. I mean, other than where I got my latest dog rescued from, that's a legitimate rescue. And I will occasionally donate to them, and I make sure it's really them, because somebody else can go on there and pretend it's them. I know for a fact it's really them. Now, there are people who run their own little rescues, and about 5 years ago, I trusted this lady. I even went to her house once to help volunteer to bathe dogs and stuff, the ones that were in a rescue. I get there and she had no water. She said there was something wrong with the water. I was like, okay, and it was a really hot day. So she's like, well, I guess we can't do it today. Turned out she didn't pay her water bill. Meanwhile, she bought herself a lot of luxuries and stuff. The money that she was getting, I found this out later, the money she was getting from people who donated, including myself, she wasn't using on the dogs. And actually, the town or the county actually shut her down, and she was actually arrested for animal cruelty. And some of the dogs that she said she was helping were found dead on the side of her yard. I mean, it was disgusting. I looked for her recently on Facebook. Oh, she's totally out of the animal rescue thing. She's dressed up as some businesswoman, a respectful businesswoman. She totally reinvented herself. But you still saw that shady look in her eyes. I was like, what a piece of crap this lady is. I was like so pissed. And those poor animals, that she didn't even help with the money. She would just like buy a bunch of stuff and just like stockpile it. She was like really weird. Um, it's really sick, people like that. So you have to be careful. I mean, I love animals. I love them more than anything in the world. And these people know it, and they try to get you by the heartstrings. Just make sure you're donating to a legitimate animal charity. When you're going to a store, especially a well-known store, a chain store or something, and there's a little jar there that's for whatever organization, usually I could say that's legit. I've heard of a jar being stolen though. So just like kind of nicely let the store owner know, those jars are stolen sometimes, keep it where they can't get to it. Some of them even chain it to the register. That doesn't always work either. It's just usually the store's reputation would be at stake if it were a phony charity. Normally, this is a generic picture, of course, but it's going to say, please donate to such and such. Even when I go to a pet supply store, it'll say, do you want to add $1 to your thing to either, help feed homeless pets or whatever. I always say yes. Same thing if I'm at a dollar store or something, they say you want to donate to help hungry people. Supermarkets do a lot. And of course, I'm going to say yes. But sometimes other things that are going to come get you through the internet, phone calls, unless it's a charity, and I said that in last week's video, unless it's a charity you really know of and trust, even in person, just please be careful who you donate to so that the money goes to who really needs and deserves it. I'll be back next week with more, and I have a couple of funny catfishing stories that I will tell you next week. I'm still working on them now. Love you. Bye-bye.